driving to an appointment an hour away, so I had some time to do this video. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I had a friend message me about the Don't Compete video that I did yesterday, and I was talking back and forth with her. She was there with me through some of my hardest parenting time, and she said that I did an amazing job, and I was surprised to hear that because I obviously didn't think that I did. But we're talking about raising kids and stuff, and like at some point you have to let them go and fly on their own. And I was thinking about, she said she hopes that when her kid is in a serious relationship and gets married, she hopes that she's as brave as I am in being able to support them, especially if they're in a relationship that isn't necessarily one that we think is best for them, right? And it got me thinking about, yesterday I was trying to put a new thing on so I could ride horses, right? And without going into detail about what it was, I was trying to fit this little leather strap through this little round hole, and I was pushing and pushing. I'd never done it before, so I didn't know. And I'm like, oh my God, why is this so hard? I was trying to find needle nose pliers that were small enough, and blah, blah, blah. And then something told me, like, take the end of the strap and pull it through until you get it to where you want, and then feed the rest of the strap to make your knot. And it worked beautifully. It was perfectly suited for that. It was made for that. The end of the leather was tapered so that way it's suited for that purpose. Like, that's the way you're supposed to do it. But I didn't watch a video or anything. I was just like, I'll figure it out, because that's how I do my life. I just figure it out. And I felt silly afterwards. But looking back at it, it was a perfect metaphor for this and child raising, or any type of anything, right? So like, I talk a lot about my struggles with religion and the church and stuff, and a lot of it is like, I felt as though a lot of it was forced, right? Like, you will do this, you shouldn't do this, and blah, 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 right? And I found that the best way for anything is to just do what you're going to do, right? Have your own momentum in your trajectory that you're going in, and kind of like driving too. And then they can be pulled by your current, by your aerodynamics, if you will. And it's so much easier because there's no effort. You're just, like the other day when I was talking about going with flow and like getting into the flow. Actually, I think that was a private conversation, but being in the flow of something means you're going with it and it's taking you along, right? There's no effort in that. You just have to make sure you keep your head above water if you're in water. You just float on your back or whatever it is that you do to keep your head above water. You don't have to fight it. You can choose to fight, but you don't have to. And the same thing with, raising our kids or trying to get somebody to see your point of view. Instead of that resistance of trying to go at them and, the difference in, going the opposite direction of them and then trying to force them to turn around, when you could just keep going in your direction, and naturally, if they are at a place where their hearts and minds are open, they're going to naturally pull in behind you. It's kind of like also when you think about women that work in a workplace together, and all of a sudden they're all on the same menstrual cycle. Like, the strongest naturally pulls the others without them doing anything to be pulled. Nothing is forced. It just happens. You just sync up. And a lot of the times we fight. And, just like with the competition, we fight. And we don't have to. That's the thing, is that we don't have to. We choose to. Naturally, people are going to see your hidden talents and the things that you think that no one sees, the parts about you that are the best parts of you. People are noticing that. And when we let our egos get in the way of that and we start to fight, that's when there's an issue. That's when we really have the problem of, oh my God, everybody's against me. Yeah, because you're trying to fight them. Stop fighting them. And there's so much beauty in just, letting the pieces fall where they may. When you're in a relationship with somebody and they're not seeing your worth, stop fighting to show them who you are. Don't fight them. Just naturally be who you are, and they'll either get in the flow and they'll follow suit, and they'll either keep pace or, outpace you and start being a valued part of your life, or they're going to go out of the current and they're going to land on the shore and then they're going to be stuck there. That's not for you to decide, right? And so, like, I'm glad that she reached out to me. And, if anybody ever wants to reach out to me, I am reachable. My email address is posted. I do have a phone number listed that people can text. Of course, you can message me on social media. And so there's a way to get in contact with me if you really want to talk to me and you don't want everybody else to see. And so I was really grateful that she reached out to me, because, every interaction that I have, that you can tell when somebody really has strong feelings about something, or really has some excess and needs some insight and don't even know that they need the insight or whatever. And I'm not talking about her specifically, but just in general. And I've always been empathetic to that, and that's one of my superpowers. I can sense that. And it always makes me really tune in more than normal to spirit. And I'm able to unveil such beautiful teachings, such ease of teachings, just by simple conversations. And I'm not talking about like, how's the weather? How's your mom? I'm talking about like, just, me being vulnerable, and then there's another snippet. There's something else that I can uncover and unveil for myself, and then of course I like to share with you guys. And so anyway, yeah, we don't need to force it. It doesn't need to be forced, and I know I've said that multiple times, but it's so true in so many different aspects of our life. I was thinking about horses in general too. Like, when I first got Ladybug, the black and white, the paint that I got, I didn't know what I was doing. And I got her, she wasn't trained. She could be haltered, but that was it. So I could lead her, and that was it. And sometimes she didn't lead well. She'd bite and kick and all kinds of stuff. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I got her because when I went to pick her up, when I went to see if she was compatible, I went up to the fence, and there was 3 other horses in the corral with her. And she was the skittish one, right? She didn't know anything about humans. She had been treated poorly in the past. She had been unhandled a lot, and so she was fearful of humans. And that was one of the reasons why they were getting rid of her. She was just not the right fit for what they needed. And she actually came up to me and touched my hand. And they were like, oh my God, like, we were not expecting that. And I'm like, she's supposed to come. Like, I knew before I went, like, she's mine. She's supposed to come home with me. I envisioned having her when I was a little kid. Maybe not knowing that her name was going to be Ladybug and she was going to look exactly like that, but that she would be, mine. Anyways, and so when I first got her, I would try to force her to do things. And sometimes she would come willingly with me, but she weighs over 900 pounds. Like, I'm not going to make her do anything that she does not want to do on some level, and there was a lot of that. I was pulling her, and I was pushing her, and I was trying to get her to, scaring her into doing these things. But the beauty really came when I found out that it was me that was afraid, and I was making her afraid. And when I stopped being afraid was when we really started to get synergetically, like, entwined with each other. And now, I fucking love that horse, man. I can't imagine not having her. And so, we're still learning. I'm still not a great rider. I'm not, but that wasn't my intention when I got her. And so, like, we're both learning together, and I really appreciate that about her, that she's so patient with me. She's patient with me because I'm the one that's always like, hurry up, let's do this or let's do that. And she's like, chill, there's a flow. Let's do it. Like, let me get this grass first. Let me do this first, And then, of course, there's times where I'm like, okay, no, like, now you're taking advantage of me. And she's like, yeah, you right. Let's go. And so, so I appreciate the relationship with her. And she's taught me a lot. I kind of got off track. I don't know what I was talking about now, but the lessons are there. I guess really the point was, there's that flow. And when we're not willing to slow down long enough to get into the flow, then we miss it. We miss out on it. And it can be such a beautiful part of our earthly experience if we just allow it. And I know society doesn't always give you that time and space that you need to process things. But that's when you figure out how you best process things, and you make time for that in your day, because you do have 24 hours in a day. And sometimes slowing down could take you 1 minute out of those 24 hours, and you just don't know unless you do it. And so, yeah, that it is what it is. This is as it is. I love you, my dearest confidants. Until next time.